Hello everyone, welcome back to my jbird. And this is game 2 of Battle of the Boxes. I'm in black and this one's called jbird to bot 2500. Okay, now I use the arrows analysis on this one, like I said. And the whole purpose of this is to see it and play it and just see why. Knowing why is the reason why. It's crucial, and timing, moving these pieces in timing, not before or after when it should be moved. Okay, it starts out e4, e6, d4, d6, c3, a6, f3, h6, e2, e7, castles, and d7. And there's your jbird since 1977. Okay, after d7, b4. And obviously, I do this all the time. You see this game a lot. And I didn't use no hours. As a matter of fact, it says this is inaccuracy. Yeah, I took notice of that too. Nope, this beat Deep Fritz 8. And that was 2900 when it was updated. And Deep Fritz 8 still 2800. Okay, after f4, g5. Now the arrow said I had my options here. Now it said push the knight, do this, do that, but I pick and choose. Now there's games I lost. I listen to arrows, and I won't listen to the arrow sometimes because it was telling me wrong moves. It'd be either I'd lose or a draw, and it's like, no, this is wrong. So now that's where picking and choosing. And you see this in my blitz games. You know this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I end up doing anyway, just like this. And I didn't listen to the arrow to take the knight up on this one because that bishop was out here. I'm pushing this pawn up. It's tempo because I'm going this way anyway. It's all tempo. That's why I got upset. I said, no, the game's, he wants me to push over here. The game's over here. After g5, e3, c6. Now I bring that knight up. I did listen to that. Start developing pieces too. Not just all attack, but after c6, he goes d5. And this little trick in here with this knight skipping around, I also picked up with the bot. And I'm getting used to playing like this and knowing what to do. But you got to be careful. After d5, e5, he takes. Now, you think right away, well, no, don't want to take it with the pawn, take it with the bishop. But here's the thing, look. It said take it here, and I wanted to look why. Well, look, you get a check. Okay, so you got time to come back for the pawn. After e6 takes, f3. f3 takes. Now you take with the bishop. And then what happens is, if he pushes, let's see this. After e6 takes, he goes d5, f6, oh, okay. It said bring the knight up. So this is all coming with tempo. Not to take and then let him run the queen down. Instead, you can get the knight there and still hold this square. You see, and this is what I need to see more of. You need to actually be another move and advancing ahead and not just these one moves. After f6, d4, and threaten again. My king ain't over here. Look, why not push the pawn? It makes a lot of sense to push the pawn. You can't take anything. What? I'll give... Oh, and the queen's still backed up. No. Still, I'd give up 2 pieces for that queen. After c5, d3. Now I castle this way. It wants me to castle, and I agree with it because we're getting open over here. It's going to take too long to move pieces around. I just agreed with it this time. After castle, a4. Okay, take the knight. d5. d5 takes. Now I go right back into the jbird. And now once this is all done, oh, cool. I do like it. You see? Now I can see clearly again now. Back to where it was. After D7, E1, E8, D2, F6, takes E8, takes E8, rookie over, E1, E5, he goes H5. Now, I can understand why it wanted me to go over here. After H5, F8, unpin, 2 pins, unpin the 2 pins. After F8, B3, E8, H3, E7, C3, and I could understand, okay, maybe get a rook lift going here. Let's see what happens after C3. Oh, takes C3, takes C3, bishop over F5. See, it seems like it was teaching me to get a move ahead here. Instead of just taking and then him going back. Instead, go here first, and now his, So after F5, he takes E7, E7 takes. Now you say, well, look at it. It looks like a drawn game, but it's not. But it's not. After E7, he goes F3, B5, B5 takes, B5 takes, D2, E5, C3, G7, E3, trade to pieces. It said maybe there might have been another move. Instead, I trade to pieces and look, and it splits his pawn. Now you say, well, I'm split too. But after E3, E3 takes, C7, B4. It says to go F6. I didn't take. C5, takes C5, D6, E6, C6, and you're looking, well, you got to push this up. After C6, B4, D7, got to make sure, can't let him walk in. After E7, queening square, white bishop, always look for things like that. After E7, B4 takes, B4 takes, and now look, I have my own passed pawn with this bishop, and look, and it's a queening square. After B4 takes, H4, takes H4, H2, F5, D5, takes D7, G3, obviously you got to take, G3 check, takes G3, F5, H4, C2, and I know right now he's going to lose his bishop already. And I got passed pawns. Look, this is winning. Once that bishop's gone, it's over. After C2, H5, B3, B3 takes, B3 takes, H6. Now after this point, I didn't listen to hours. I know what I have to do. I run the king. And even in the end, after I get the queen, I run the king first. After H6, E6, H5, E5, G4, E4, and look, it's already defended. So it didn't matter. This was my choice. After E4, G5, takes E3, F5, E6 check, F6, F4. He has to go away from there. E7, F5, D6, E4, and now, no matter what, if I wanted to, depending where he goes, I could just push this pawn and walk the king right with it. After E4, C5, F5, B4, F4, C3, E3, b4, f3, c5, f2, d6, h3, c7, f1 queen. Now watch what I do. He wanted me to move the queen down. I moved the king down first. This is the coolest and best way to do things. I have other cool games. You'll see how I finish off nicely in the end. After f1, d6, d4, e7, e5, d8, d6. You see this? The king, you lead with the king first. After d6, e8, now the queen comes down. Where's he going to go? f5, d8, and that's game. You lead the king down first. It makes a much simpler game to end it clean. Just the same as once the king's on the back row and you keep him in the back row until you get your piece down there to finish him off. Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll have game 3 coming up.